Sanibonani Dumelang, my name is Garbo Dynamite Nyalungu, the leadership that led the leader to the leading lead. Welcome to another one of my videos. I learned something new this week. In fact, a couple of days ago, one of my WhatsApp contact had a status, and it had a quote, a very cliche quote about vibrations. Don't ignore how you feel around certain figures. It's not there's a reason why you feel that way, something along those lines. I think you've heard that somewhere. That, and it hit me so hard. I'm one of the people who put people in situations without thinking for them, and then later on forgot to put me in such a situation, and I'm like, this is how that other person felt when I did that to them. So this is a quite sugar-coated way of describing karma, and yeah. But with this one, I don't know how to feel, because yeah, it hit me so hard. Here's what really struck me at that point in time when I read that quote, is that there are certain people who disturb your vibes. Nje. There are certain people who their existence disturbs your vibe, and this is because maybe you gave in so much in your relationship with that person, to a point where when the time to depart has come, you don't even wish to turn back, because you've given in so much. Or they've broken you so much that whatever happens after, you don't even care. You're not going back there. You've made a promise to yourself that there, you're not going back. Or perhaps your trust in them was shattered so much that you can't even go back there. And I remember a couple of years ago, a friend of mine in grade 10 did something to me that broke one of the principles that were founding, or I believed were founding, our relationship. And I was like, don't ever think after this there'll ever be a me and you. And it was a female. And years later, beyond high school, I'm like, I'm not going back there. You know, we've had awesome conversations afterward. We've had great moments. We've laughed together. We've attended events together. But there's just that level, that boundary I know I'm not crossing, because of how I felt, how what they did to me made me feel at that point. Another incident, there was another one of my friends who went through my phone, ne? And I didn't catch them red-handed, but later on, when we had other conversations, she revealed that, oh yeah, actually I saw that. The level of trust that was broken at that point made a promise to myself that I'm not going back there. Whatever happens, I'm just not going back there. And you realize that when these people sort of come again into your life, or present themselves in your life, you just feel threatened. I don't know whether it's your sanity that is threatened. I think it's your peace of mind. It gets so threatened to a point where you see that, no man, this person's existence in my life, just this person's presence in my life just makes me shiver. I'm not comfortable around this person. They can win. You appreciate it when they win. You feel happy when they win. But can you win there? They just win there? Because the minute you are in, close proximity with me, I don't feel good. I just don't feel good. A lot of things in my life are disturbed. So there's so many instances where I put people there where I was like, I'm not going back there. I'll greet you. It's fine, chief. We'll greet each other, but you, me, never. And it's not something you do because you are cruel, but it's because you are protecting your sanity, you are protecting your peace of mind. You're like, I'm not going back there. you know there are instances where you wish to go there, but then you remember the disrespect, you remember the level of brokenness you were in, you remember the hurtful things they did to you, the hurtful things, and how they made you feel. You remember everything, and you're like, I grand. There's sometimes where you wish, you look at, perhaps if you block them on social media, you review that list, and you're like, there's you wish to unblock, but you know what's gonna happen, and you're like, my peace. I'm at a very, not I'm not saying everything is smooth in life, but your absence makes everything much more easier. I know when you are present, and when I see a status update from you, I'm gonna be affected, even if it's clouds. I'm gonna be affected. Even if you choose to put fruits on your status, on your status update, I'm gonna be affected somehow, because the thought of just having a line of communication with you, Oh, mtakated. I'm not sure if I'm the only person who goes through these things where you're like, I love you, I respect you, but I also love myself and I love my peace and I appreciate it so much. So if it means for me to be in a peaceful state, I need to, chase you away. I think this is the option that I'm going with. I've often been such a person in my life. You understand? Where I'm like, okay, fine. I respect you. Okay, fine. Sometimes I miss you. Okay, fine. But all those combined do not exceed the depth of the pain, the intensity of the pain you've caused me. They do not exceed the feeling of being shattered that I felt when you did this or you said this to me. Then, therefore, I'd rather opt to have you out of my life. I don't hate you. I'm good, but I'm good also with you being in my life because you realize you're not such and such a person until this person comes to your life. And I realized this with me on social media, WhatsApp, for instance. I'm not one to update statuses constantly, here 10 a day, or 12 a day. But the minute somebody is exposed to me and I realize, okay, this one all of a sudden watches my status, yay. There's all of a sudden a booming of status messages from me as if I'm doing it to get their attention. I'm doing it to prove a point to them. I'm doing it to, I get out of my normal self to try and get to this person to a point where I lose me. I get out of me and do it just to impress them. The minute they see it, there's a certain relief I feel for that few seconds, and then life goes back to the new normal where now the normal is impressing this kind of person. I'm not sure if I'm the only person who goes through that. So there are people who disturb your frequencies to that extent where you feel threatened by their presence makes you feel threatened, not in a good way where you're like it's actually inspirational, or maybe you sense an element of jealousy in yourself because they're doing good. No, but in a manner where you all of a sudden want to be superhero for your sanity and everything that is around you. You want to protect because now this person has sort of access to you. I'm not sure if I'm making sense, but I've always been that person. Now the problem is when the role is reversed and I get to be that person to other people. When other people have to now feel the need to protect themselves. And you know I speak about this in my book that I perceive myself to be a very positive ball of energy. Now when someone does that to me, when someone feels the need to protect their sanity from me, and it really hits hard because I think I'm positive, and sometimes we need to, that's why we need to look at ourselves in certain instances and relationships that maybe you are the toxic one. Maybe you are the one that people need to protect their sanity from. Maybe you are the one that people need a break from. You understand? So now that I am on the other side, I'm like, this actually hurts because the ball is literally on the other person's court. There's nothing you can do when you are the one who people's sanity needs to be protected from. You really go by the rules of the other person. You can't do much. They are the ones who control whether they want to talk to you, whether they want to text you, at what time they do it, at what time they respond to you. There's nothing you just feel so helpless because you are blue ticked all of a sudden and it hurts so much. You're not taken seriously because of the things you may have done in the past, the things that may have cost those people a whole lot of things which you will not know about, which perhaps you will not get a chance to even feel because you're all of a sudden ostracized. And perhaps at that point you may be needing more from the relationship from that person, but because of past encounters and how you made them feel, they are so protective of themselves to a point where they'd rather have you from afar. They'd rather see you from afar. Yeah, you can win, you can greet each other, you can do everything, but from a distance they need protection from you. And honestly, it's not a nice feeling. So I'm not sure if the other party needs to heal, or perhaps that other one needs to stop trying, whether there'll be a point where these people get along. But now when I look at it from a person who shut these people out, I don't even miss them. It's good to see them do things, but I don't miss the relation that we have to a point where I'd bring it back. So I don't miss them to that extent because I seem to be contradicting myself. Yes, you miss the bond, but not to an extent where you'd want to bring it back. Anyway, don't forget to buy my book. The name of the book is Purpose and Dominance 1. Follow me on all my social media platforms for details and how to order and make payment. And yeah,